Good morning, everyone. Today we will discuss about the ligand-driven receptor-mediated drug delivery. And first of all, what are ligands? Ligands are carrier-associated surface groups which can selectively direct the carrier to the pre-specified site, housing appropriate receptor units to serve as homing device to the carrier or drug. Now we will discuss about the various mechanism by which the drug it is taken up by the cells. So, in diffusion and dissolved particles move down a concentration gradient. Sometimes cells need to move non-dissolved particles or large amount of material across the cell membrane. And this can be done by two processes, that is endocytosis and exocytosis. And now first of all, what is endocytosis? We'll discuss about that. Endocytosis means within. Cytosis means cell. The process by which a cell moves large amount of material or non-dissolved particles into its cytoplasm from the outside environment. Means cell is bringing the amount of material, you can say in pharmaceutical terms, the drug into the cell of cytoplasm of the cell. That is endocytosis. And exocytosis means exit, cytosis means cell. Means the process by which large amount of material or non-dissolved particles they move out of the cell cytoplasm to the outside environment. As you can see from the diagram, first process is endocytosis. In this process, the drug is taken up by the plasma membrane of the cell, and vesicle is formed, and this vesicle moves into the cytoplasm of the cell. And reverse occurs in the process of exocytosis. The waste material after the drug has been used or digested with the help of enzymes, the waste material or waste it moves out of the cell. That is exocytosis. Now, how does endocytosis work? Endocytosis is the case when a molecule causes the cell membrane to bulge inward, forming a vesicle. And there are three types of endocytosis. First is receptor-mediated endocytosis, then phagocytosis, and pinocytosis. As we can see, these three processes. First is phagocytosis. In this, a solid particle, or you can say in pharmaceutical terms, drug. It is taken by the plasma membrane of the cell, in which the pseudopodium or a cavity named pseudopodium is formed in the plasma membrane, which takes up this drug, and phagosome is formed. In pinocytosis, it is a process of taking extracellular fluid from outside the cell, and vesicle is formed. And in the third, we can say that is receptor mediated endocytosis. In this, receptors they specifically bind to a particular ligand, and then they take up the drug, and a coated vesicle is formed, which is coated by some form of protein. Then is receptor mediated endocytosis. What do you mean by this? Receptor mediated endocytosis, it is a type of endocytosis, and it is endocytotic mechanism in which specific molecules are ingested into the cell. The specificity results from the receptor ligand interaction, and the interior portion of the receptor protein is embedded in the membrane. The protein Catherine coats the inside of the membrane in the area of the pit. As we have seen in the figure earlier, I was saying about the protein that is in the coated pit. Outside, these red dots are of protein, that is Catherine. It coats the outside of the vesicle, and coated vesicles are formed in this case. Receptors on the plasma membrane of the target tissue will specifically bind to ligands on the outside of the cell, and an endocytic process occurs and the ligand is ingested. This is diagrammatic representation of the whole process of receptor mediated endocytosis. We will discuss this stepwise. So in the first step, what happens? The receptor, the ligand binds to the membrane receptor. And then in the second process, what happens? Receptor ligand migrates to the Clathrin coated pit. In the plasma membrane of the cell, Clathrin coated pit is created. And then in the third step, what happens? Endocytosis occurs, means vesicle formation is started. In the third step, vesicle, after formation of vesicle, the vesicle loses the Clathrin coat, and new pit is formed. As you can see that protein, it is ready to form the new vesicle. In the step 5, what happens? Receptors and ligands separate. In the 6th step, after the formation of endosome, ligands go to lysosomes or Golgi bodies for processing. In the next step, transport of vesicle with receptor moves to the cell membrane. Now this receptor, which has also been embedded in the vesicle, it moves to the cell membrane in the next step, leaving the ligand and the drug vesicle. In the 8th step, what happens? Transport vesicle and cell membranes fuse, means membrane recycling occurs. And in the last step, exocytosis occurs. The drug which have been used or which have been digested and converted into metabolites, it will be removed through the process of exocytosis. Example is the uptake of cholesterol. The uptake of cholesterol by mammalian cells has provided a key model for understanding receptor-mediated endocytosis at molecular level. And cholesterol is transported through the bloodstream in the form of lipoprotein particles, the most common of which is called low-density lipoproteins. The uptake of LDL by mammalian cells requires the binding of LDL to the specific cell surface receptor that is concentrated in clathrin-coated pits and internalized by endocytosis. This is the diagram. As we can see, cholesterol, it has been taken up. Next process is clathrin independent endocytosis. It involves the component of cytoskeleton, and caveole are coated invaginations of plasma membrane that do not separate from the plasma membrane, and this process is known as photocytosis. An alternative model suggests similar to clathrin-mediated pathway, caveole bud from the plasma membrane and fuse with the endosome. The most well-characterized cargo, or you can say cargo molecule, which consists of drug undergoing photocytosis, is folate. And from the drug delivery standpoint, the advantage of photocytosis pathway over clathrin-coated pathways lies in the absence of pH lowering step, thereby circumventing the classical endosomal or lysosomal pathway. And this concept may prove useful for the receptor mediated targeting of pH sensitive macromolecules or transfection of genetic materials. In this, we can see that caveole has been formed, which is not coated with the clathrin, and micropinosomes. They are also the vesicles containing a large amount of fluid. They entrap the extracellular fluid in large vesicles. These are known as micropinosomes, and they release this fluid inside the cell, as we can see. And following stimulation, the micropinosomes, they can be and if for stimulation, these micropinosomes, they can be shown to form leading edge of the cell at the point of maximum membrane ruffling. And macropinosomes are also there. They are also formed if the amount of fluid entrapped is in large amount. Their size or diameter varies from 0.5 to 2.5 micrometer. And in the recent development, early endosomal coat proteins have been identified and characterized. And as we have discussed about the clathrin, there are other proteins also which may coat the vesicles, like example of ruffles is there. These are some of the subunits found in Golgi associated non-clathrin vesicular coat proteins, and they are also known as coatomers or copies also. Thus the cell may use different combinations of existing coat proteins to regulate the specific vesicular trafficking pathways. Now we will discuss about the next process, that is phagocytosis. It is also a process of uptaking of nutrients by the cells, as it is defined as ingestion of particles greater than 0.5 micrometer by the cells. And it is one type of endocytosis that occurs when a cell uses its membrane to bring non-dissolved particles or solid particles into the cytoplasm. In phagocytosis, the cell extends figure-like projections of its cell membrane, called pseudopores. As we have seen earlier, the cell membrane forms pseudopores around a piece of solid material, you can say drug, outside the cell, and the pseudopores that surround the solid object eventually join to form a vacuole within the cell cytoplasm. The cell then releases the chemicals into the vacuole, and the chemicals digest the solid particles into the smaller particles that may be used for energy or building material, and it is also known as cell eating process. Who discovered this phagocytosis? Eli Elia. He first of all discovered it in 1882 and received Nobel Prize for the same in 1906. 1906, then Carl Friedrich Gauss coined the term phagocytosis. As you can see in the diagram, solid material is taken up into the cell. First of all, in this cell eating process, the viruses, they have been taken up by the macrophage. First of all, in the second, as you can see, pseudopodium is formed. Pseudopod is formed, which is taking up this virus, and the virus is ingested inside the cell. Then, with the help of enzymes, it is broken up and this waste material in the as we can see in fifth figure, waste material is formed, means the virus has been destroyed. And in the fifth process, you can see the exocytosis process. This waste, it is removed from the macrophages. Examples, it is given like WBC removes the bacteria and cell debris. Then amoeba, how it is by the process of phagocytosis only, how by which amoeba it engulfs the food. As you can see, the feed is coming near to the amoeba, and then it takes up the feed. With the first pseudopod is formed, and then feed is taken inside the cell. Similarly, drug is taken inside the cell. And what are the cells involved in phagocytosis? They are given as under like neutrophils, monocytes, macrophages, dendritic cells, mast cells, and eosinophils. They are taken up by the then there are various characteristics of the various cells. Like neutrophils, what they do, they phagocytose the antigens coated with antibodies and complement, and they help in intracellular killing, inflammation, and tissue damage. Their features are they have short lifespan, have primary and secondary granules in cytoplasm, and segmented nucleus. Main station is blood CD66 membrane marker. Then monocytes, they also help in phagocytosis, act as APC, antigen presenting cell, precursors of macrophages and dendritic cells. Then are macrophages, they also do phagocytosis, intra and extracellular killing, acts as APC, and tissue repair, stores iron in bone marrow, plays a potent role in tumor cell destruction. Next are dendritic cells. They major role in phagocytosis and AP in viral infections. Mast cells, they help in allergic responses. Phagocytose act as APC against gram-negative bacteria like Salmonella. Then eosinophils are there, immunity against parasites. Weakly phagocyte and kill the parasites. Phagocytosis, it is not their main function. Non-professionals, they do not have specific receptors like some of the phagocytes, they do not have specific receptors like lymphocytes, NK and LGL cells, epithelial cells, endothelial. They are not mainly involved in phagocytosis, but sometimes they are involved in this particular process. How does it works? First of all, entry of pathogen into the cell, as we have seen, recognition and phagocytosis by tissue phagocytes, as well as signals are generated, and recruitment of phagocytes and inflammation occurs. As we can see in this diagram, bacterium is taken up by the cells, and then what happens? First of all, pseudopod is formed, and the receptor binds a particular form of bacteria. Then phagosome is formed. Then lysosome it binds to the phagosome and forms phagolysosomes. And then with the help of enzymes, whole bacterium it is broken up, and then exocytosis occurs. Next process is pinocytosis. Pinocytosis is another form of endocytosis in which small particles are brought into the cell, forming an invagination and then suspended with within small vesicles, and then it breaks down the particles. It is known as cell drinking process. It works just like phagocytosis, but the only difference is that pinocytosis is when the cell engulf already dissolved or broken down food. As we can see in the process, mainly in this um, mainly it captures the liquid or soluble particles. So as we can see, plasma membrane, and with the help when the fluid or it's taken up by the cell, the plasma membrane helps in the formation of the vesicle, and which releases the fluid inside the cell. And it is mainly characterized into three parts, that is fluid phased pinocytosis, absorptive or receptor mediated pinocytosis, absorptive and non receptor mediated pinocytosis. And pinosomes, they mainly capture the liquid and solute present in the extracellular fluid surrounding a cell. However, different endocytic uptake is prominent feature. This is possible only by absorptive pinocytosis process, in which a solute binds to the external phase of the plasma membrane and drawn into the cell interior, forming pinosome, and solute concentration is higher than in the ambient liquid. In this absorptive form of pinocytosis, what happens, the fluid which is engulfed into the vesicle, it is having more concentration as compared to the extracellular fluid. So it is one of the advantage of this process. And if it is receptor mediated, then it mainly absorbs only the liquid that has either a specific structural characteristic or specific composition, you can say. In receptor mediated absorptive pinocytosis, only a specific constant structured liquid or something, a composition is absorbed. And if the process is absorptive non receptor mediated, then it is a vague process. It can absorb any composition, any fluid of any structural composition or any composition. So the main advantage is that it absorbs more liquid as compared to simple pinocytosis process. Example it is given, like human egg cell taking up nutrients from the surrounding cells. Now last is the difference between the phagocytosis and pinocytosis. In this phagocytosis, the solid particles are basically taken, or you can say drug is basically taken, phagosome is formed. And in pinocytosis, extracellular fluid is taken up and vesicle is formed. So this is the next process is ligand mediated transcytosis. Transcytosis, it is a type of intracellular transport in which various macromolecules are transported across the interior of the cell. Macromolecules are captured in vesicles on one side of the cell, drawn across the cell and ejected on the other side. Example is like transport of protein and peptides. In the first diagram, as we can say, this is a process of endocytosis. First one is, it can be receptor mediated also and receptor independent also. In this, the drug is taken up by the plasma membrane. When they come near the plasma membrane, drug is taken up and a vesicle is formed, and drug is transported to the intracellular surface or intracellular space of the cell. And this is receptor mediated, and these projections, they are the proteins. It can be clathrin or it can be ruffles. Then next process is transcytosis. In this process, the drug is taken up and then it is removed also from the cell. This whole process of taking up of drug from the plasma membrane and removal of the drug means exocytosis. This whole process is known as transcytosis. It may be receptor mediated also, receptor independent also. Now as we can see in this process, in this is the receptor, and the ligand containing the carrier along with the drug, it binds to a particular type of receptor only. And this in this also vesicle is formed, and after the drug is released in the intracellular space of the cell, and then the metabolites of the drug, after the drug has been acted on a particular target cell, then the metabolites of the drug, they are removed by the process of exocytosis. And this process of taking up of drug or transport of drug in the intracellular space of the cell and then removal of the drug by the process of exocytosis, this is transcytosis. And in the second case also, here the receptors are not involved, and this is receptor independent. The drug is taken up the plasma membrane and vesicle is formed. The drug is released in the intercellular space of the cell, and then the metabolites of the drug, they are removed by the process of endocytosis. So thank you.